this was the last test of block 3 about the waves. So in the first question, the diagram shows a wave before it reflects from a barrier. Which label of the section in the diagram represent a wavefront? So A is representing the direction of the wave, direction in which the wave is traveling. B is the distance between the two successive crests or two successive troughs of the wave fronts, that is known as the wavelength. D is the reflecting surface. Where C is a wave front. So correct answer for question MCQ 1 is C. Question 2. A vibrating object produces ripple on the surface of a liquid. The object completes 20 vibrations every second. So that is the frequency is given. The spacing of the ripple from one crest to the next is 3 centimeter. So that is the wavelength. And we need the speed. So formula for speed is frequency multiplied by wavelength. So that will be 20 multiplied by 3, which is equals to 60 centimeter per second, because the wavelength is given in centimeters, so it will be centimeter per second. In question 3, a narrow beam of a light is traveling through a transparent liquid. It meets the surface at an angle of 40. The refractive index is 1.5. The angle of refraction as the light enter the air. So moving from denser medium to rarer medium, the formula is sine angle R over sine angle I. It is in a high density medium and it is moving to the low density medium. The refractive index is given 1.5. Sine angle R we don't know, angle I, that is 40. So it will be 1.5 multiplied by sine 40, that will be equal to sine R. And if you need R, so sine 40 into 1.5, what's the answer for this? Sine 40 multiplied by, no, I'm not asking the final answer, I'm saying the product. Sine 40 into 1.5, 0.96. So 0.96, that is a value of sine R, but you need R only, so take an inverse. So R is equals to sine inverse 0.96. When you take an inverse, so R is equals to sine inverse of 0.96, then R will be equal to 75 degrees, which is D. And even without calculation, you can work out A and B cannot be answered. Why A and B cannot be answered? Because if A and B are the answer, then it should bend towards the normal, which is practically wrong. Moving when the light travel from denser medium to rarer medium, it will bend away from the normal. So either C can be answered or D can be answered, and using the values you can work out the correct answer. Question 4. Which diagram correctly represent the rays of a light passing through the converging lens? So for a converging lens, if the ray of the light is parallel, it will pass through focus. If it is passing from the focus, it will go parallel. And if it is passing through the center, it will pass straight. So why B cannot be an answer? Because if it is parallel, it should converge at one point. That's why B is not an answer. Here the refraction or the change in direction occur if it is passing along or passing through the focus, it should go parallel. So that's why C is not a right answer. Same thing for D. Why D is also not a right answer? Because It is not passing through the center. If it is passing through the center without any deviation, it will pass straight. So the correct answer is A, in which the two rays are passing through the center, will pass undeflectedly without changing their direction. Speed will change, but the direction will not change. What is the speed of X-ray in a vacuum and in air? Because these are electromagnetic radiations, electromagnetic waves all travel with the same speed in vacuum. And in air also approximately it will be slightly smaller, but when you round it off, it will be same value. So 3 exponent 8 meter per second. In question 6, a sound wave passes a point. The air pressure at the point increases and decreases 300 times every second. Which description? So for sound waves, C and D cannot be an answer because sound waves are longitudinal. Then it is vibrating 300 times in 1 second. So it means the frequency is 300 hertz. And this 300, the audible range for a normal hearing, that is from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So because it is in the audible range, that's why it can be detected. So this is within the human hearing range. B is the correct answer. In question 7, a boy stands 150 meter from a wall. He claps and hears the echo. Immediately claps again and continue this for some time. Another student has a stopwatch. She start the watch for the first clap and stop at the 11th one, and the time interval is 10 seconds. Which value do her measurement give the speed of the sound? So formula for finding the speed of the sound, because
2
it's an
multiplied by distance divided
yeah.
by time.
So speed is equals to 2 multiplied by distance divided by time. So time for, because the sound will strike the reflecting surface and bounce back. From the first clap to the 11th clap, how many times? Because when she clapped first time and the 11th, so total how many times? 10 we will consider, because the first clap will produce a sound, and when the 11th clap is there, that she's not hearing the sound of the 11th, she's stopping at the 11th clap. So total it will be 10. So it will be 2 multiplied by distance. The distance is 150. And the time interval, because if 10 claps are taking 10 seconds, so one will take 1 second. That's why the time interval is 1. So 300 will be the right answer. Because starting from first clap, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and at this 11th clap she stopped, but the total will is for the 10, because at the 11th clap she is hearing a sound for the 10th one. Which row shows an example of transverse wave and longitudinal? All electromagnetic radiations are transverse in nature. Radio, so transverse sound cannot be. So either A can be answer, B or C. About longitudinal, sound waves are longitudinal, so B is the right answer. Light is transverse as well, radio is also transverse. The wave passes through a gap and diffraction causes the wave to spread out. Which wave spread out the most? When you have a larger wavelength through a slightly, means a larger wavelength through a gap slightly larger than the wavelength. So when we draw this, the first one, slightly larger, slightly smaller, or equal, In that case, we have a maximum diffraction. If this wavelength is approximately equal to the gap size, so when wavelength is approximately equal to the gap size, what we'll observe? Maximum diffraction we will observe. But why not other options? Why other options are not correct? A larger wavelength through a much smaller gap. So what they mean for this B, a larger wavelength and much smaller gap. So gap size is too small. If gap size is too small, the wave is even not able to. So wavelength is much greater than the gap size. That's why the wave is even not able to pass through this gap, which is very small. So diffraction, small wavelength through a gap which is much larger. So if the gap size is much larger, wavelength is smaller, and the gap is much larger, then minimum diffraction will occur. And small wavelength through a much smaller means small wavelength through a gap which is much smaller than the wavelength. So again, wavelength is smaller, but the gap is much smaller than the wavelength. So again, in that case, it is making a same scenario as the B1. So maximum occur when the wavelength is approximately equal to the gap size, which we also pronounce as a narrow gap. The gap should not be too small, otherwise the diffraction will not occur. In question 10, an object is placed before a plane mirror as shown. A student view the image of an object in the mirror from point P. Where does he sees the image? So if our object distance and image distance are always same, if an object is placed here and a student view the image of an object from position P, the perpendicular distance between the object and the image should be same. That means you have to just measure, it cannot, because if I measure the perpendicular distance from mirror to object, that should be same as mirror to image, so that it appears to be D as a right answer. Light has a speed 1.24 exponent 8 in diamond. What is the refractive index? So formula to find a refractive index: speed of light in air or a vacuum divided by speed of a light in a medium. So 3 exponent 8 divided by 1.24 exponent 8. So when you divide these two numbers, then C will be the right answer. Which statement about the monochromatic light is correct? The term monochromatic means light of single wavelength or light of single color, that is, or single frequency, is known as monochromatic. So in question 12, light does not diffract. Diffraction is a property of wave, so it can diffract. So that's on light which is having a single frequency. Light that spread out, monochromatic cannot spread out. White light, which is a combination of 7 color, can spread out. Or even like you have 2 different colors, 2 different wavelength, that can also spread out. Light that travel at the same speed in all material, that's also wrong. Its speed changes. When it travel in a denser medium, it will travel slower as compared to that in a rarer medium. Both amplitude and a frequency of sound wave decrease. What happened to the sound heard? Amplitude is refers to the loudness and frequency is refers to the pitch. So sound will become quieter and it will be lower pitch. because amplitude refers to the loudness and frequency refers to pitch. The sound wave is traveling through a water. What is the possible speed of the wave? So approximate speeds you have to learn. In air it's about 330, 340. In liquids it's about 1500, and in solid it is 5000. So this is a liquid passing through water. That's why C is the right answer. In a shallow tank, a water wave moves towards a barrier with a narrow gap. So narrow gap means maximum diffraction. So which figure is representing a maximum diffraction? D is representing greater spreading or maximum diffraction. A light passes along an optical fiber. What happened to the light within the optical fiber? So within the optical fiber, the angle of incidence is more than the critical angle. So as the angle of incidence is more than critical angle, it will undergo total internal reflection. The point label FR principal foci, it means it's a plural of lengths. A beam of a parallel light is incident on the which diagram shows the path of a light. So when the parallel light rays are there, it will converge at one point and it will converge at focus. So that's why B is the right answer. Which statement about the sound wave is correct? For question 18, they are able to travel through vacuum. Sound is mechanical, it cannot travel through vacuum. They are able to travel through solid, that's true. They are not transverse. They travel at the same speed. No, their speed changes when they changes the medium. Which statement about the ultrasound is correct? Ultrasound means a sound which is produced by vibration and the frequency is higher than the audible range. So it is produced by rapid vibrating source, that's true. It is, we are not able to detect, so we cannot say it is uncomfortable to hear him. Its frequency must be greater than 300 kilohertz. It should be greater than 20 kilohertz, not only 300, 20 kilohertz, because 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz is audible. After that we call ultrasound. It travel at the it travel the fastest in vacuum. It does not travel through vacuum because it is also a sound. It required a
Sir, why
medium.
it's not C again? Why it's not C?
Why it is not C again? The frequency of the ultrasound started, because this is the audible range 20 hertz to 20,000. So sound which is more than 20,000 hertz is called ultrasound. It is written its frequency must be greater. It is not it must be
Yeah.
300 kilohertz is also ultrasound, but its frequency not must be greater. If it was its frequency is greater than 300 kilohertz or 20 kilohertz, then it will be correct. That, or its frequency must be greater than, instead of 300 it should be 20 kilohertz, then it will be the right statement. So another question, a person uses a surfboard to ride every 30th wave crest towards the beach. So means he's riding on the 30th wave. The wave crests travel at a speed of 1.6 and the distance between the crest, each crest is 24 meter. How many wave crests does the person surf in 1 hour? So basically, first what you will find the frequency. How to find a frequency? You have the formula V is equals to F lambda, where V is the speed, F is the frequency. So speed is given 1.6, frequency we don't know, and the wavelength is 24. So 1.6 divided by 24, we'll get the frequency. So what is the meaning of the frequency? Frequency means number of vibration per second. So it is 1.6 divided by 24. That is, the frequency is 0.06. And In the question they mention a person uses a surfboard and he is riding the every 30th wave crest towards the beach.
We'll divide.
So first we will find what you can do. You can find the time it will take for the 30, because frequency, you can also find, we have the frequency means how many vibrations are there per second. Or we can also find the time interval. You have the speed, you have the distance. Speed is equals to distance divided by time, the time taken by the wave. So that is distance divided by speed. So 2.4 divided by 1.6, that time is 15 seconds. So for one wave, it is 15 seconds. So what you can find that this is a time period, basically time to complete one vibration. What you can do, you can find the total number of the waves in this time interval. This is the time for one wave. So what you will do, you will multiply the total time interval for 1 hour. So 15 seconds is representing the time for one wave. So in 1 hour means 3600 seconds. How many waves will be there? X. Cross multiply. You will get the number of the waves. The number of the waves will be 240. But he's not riding every wave. He's only riding like the 30th wave every time. So 240 divided by 30. What you will get? You will get C, or 8 is the right answer. Or you can also use a frequency method. Using a frequency, you will then find the time period. Frequency time period is reciprocal of frequency, and again use the same formula. So both ways are correct. The structure question, figure 6.1 shows the crest of the wave moving from left to the right in a harbor. On figure 6.1, draw 3 more crests to the right of point A. So basically you have to show a diffraction. And how you represent this diffraction? Nearby the edges, the bending of the wave around the edge is called diffraction. So what happened? The same wavelength should be there, like the distance between the crest should be same. But the part which passes nearby the edge will slightly bend. So you have to draw or complete this figure to show a diffraction. State the name of a wave process that occur at point A. So what happened at point A? That a diffraction, the property of a wave to change or bend around the edges or near the obstacle. Then figure 6.2 shows a crest of another wave moving from left to right in a different part. The wave moves from deep water to shallow water. So it is traveling from deep to shallow water. The part is in a shallow water is slower. On the figure, draw an arrow to show the direction of movement of the wave after it has passed into a shallow. Look, the direction of the wave is always 90 degree to the direction of the wave front. So what you will do, you can place a ruler here, or you can use a set square and 90 degree, that arrow which represent a direction which shows the 90-degree angle between the wave front, that is the direction of the wave. So you can draw an arrow
should
here.
It be accurate? Should it be accurate?
Yeah, it should be accurate, because 90 degree, you cannot draw like this or other way. It should be 90 degree, because the direction of the wave is always 90 degree to the wave front. And state the name of the process that occur. So when the wave changes the, so we call that as refraction. Changes the speed when traveling from one medium to another. Then complete the table 6.1 to state whether each of the properties increase, decrease, or same. So wavelength, you find that it is decreasing, frequency it's constant or
Same.
same, and the speed is also
Decrease.
decreasing. In question 2, figure 7.1 shows a converging lens and the image I form when the object is placed to the left of the object. The principal focuses are labeled as A and B, and the lens is labeled as C. On the figure, draw two rays to locate the position of object. So how to locate? Just the same idea, means you will draw other way around, like,
One from the center and one from the focus.
yeah, one from the center will pass straight, don't show the arrows, and one parallel which will pass through focus. So the point where these two light rays will intersect, that is the position where you have an object.
Sir, can the just a minute.
Yes.
Can it be like this?
Yes, you can draw like this as well. The same thing. You can, because there are three rays, so you can select that one also, one which is passing through the focus will pass straight, so it will also intersect at the same point. Ring all the following distances that are equal to the focal length. So which distances from A to C
A, C, and CB.
and C and B are the focal lengths. Figure 7.2 shows a green light passing through a triangular glass block. A red light enters and passes along the same path as green. On the figure, draw the path of a red. If this is a green, which bend,
Above.
because we have, yeah, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Violet bends the most and red bends the least, so it should have least bending. So if I draw the normal, this is a normal, so the position for the red, deviation from the original path should be less, but you should not make it up. It should bend towards the normal. Even you cannot draw straight, it should bend toward the normal, but slight bending as compared to that of, and then bend away from the normal. You don't have to draw the normal. Normal is not having a mark, so you have to just show the path. Yeah, so within the block you have to, on the figure, draw the path of a red light within the triangle. So only within the triangle you have to draw. The outside, this one is only within, that's why it is of one mark, that only this part is having a mark. Then on figure 7.2, draw the path of a red light within the triangular glass block and show, figure 7.3 shows a green light which is passing through the rectangular, red light enter the rectangular glass figure. So what you will do, again the same thing, when you draw the normal, if this was a green light, red will bend less, so deviation will be there. If this is without deviation, if I draw a straight line, that shows it does not deviate, so it should be slight deviation and then bend away from the normal. But you have to
Sir,
draw
it will
with
be towards the normal, right? The deviation.
the deviation first is toward the normal, and when it is
Yeah,
going
then
out, it
away
should be
from it.
away from the normal.
Yeah.
Sir, can't it bend below the green light?
No, it cannot bend, because reason for that, if you bend below the green light, it means the bending of a red is more than green, but it is opposite, that the green Drawing
Yes.
a normal is not having mark here, but for your reference, it's better you draw a normal. Even when you check the marking scheme, you will find that drawing a normal is not having a mark. Only the path is important. The reason why I am drawing a normal, because I'm explaining the idea that what will happen when the ray is passing. That's why if you draw like this, that will be wrong. Why? Because it shows that red bend more than green, which is not correct. Draw the path of a red light within the rectangular, and then draw the path of a red light after it leave the rectangular. That's also 1 mark. In question 3, figure 8.1 shows a parallel wavefront of a light in ice. The wavefronts incident in the boundary of air, ice and air boundary. Here. The speed of the light in air is 3 exponent 8. Refractive index is 1.3. On figure, draw the wavefront of a wave that passes in air, because in air it travels faster in as compared to that in ice, and this is the light wave. So if it travel faster, when we draw the wavefront, so we should draw wavefront ahead. So wavefront in air should be ahead and it should be parallel to each other. So when you draw, look how to understand. First, if I draw a straight line, it means they are traveling at the same speed. If it slow down, it will lag behind, but in air it travel faster, so I should draw the wavefront and all should be parallel to each other. Because this is light and light travel faster in air as compared to that in solid. The second part, draw an arrow to show the direction. So how to get the direction of the wave? The direction of the wave is always perpendicular or 90° to the direction of the wave fronts. So if these are the wave fronts I drew, so then this will be the direction in which the wave will travel. And it is, you can see it is obvious that when the wave is coming, it is strike and it bent away from the normal, moving from glass ice to air. Label the angle of incidence and angle of refraction. So how to label the angle of incidence and angle of refraction? So it's better you make 1 point so that you can easily work out the angle of incidence and angle of refraction. So if I
Sir,
continue
shouldn't
this,
it be inside? Shouldn't it be inside?
no, because the wave is traveling faster in air. This is a light travel faster in air. That's why it
Yeah.
should, so the wavefront should be ahead. If I draw backward, it means the wavefront slow down. If I draw in this manner, it means it shows that it slow down.
Yeah.
But
So
in
in
air,
yeah,
light travel faster as compared to that in solid.
yeah.
So it should be ahead. So this is the incident wave, and how to get the direction for the refracted. I will draw an arrow, but that second arrow, it should be perpendicular or 90° to the wavefront. So this arrow should be 90° or perpendicular to the wavefront. This is showing the incident direction, the wave which enter, and this one is showing the refracted direction, the wave which bounce back. Wave which changes the speed and direction. I will draw the normal and I will label angle of incidence and angle of, so this one is angle of incidence and this one is angle of refraction. Is it clear? So this is what you have to do for this question, in which you represent the angle of incidence and angle of refraction. Light rays are the direction of the wavefront. The direction of the light is same as the direction of the wavefront. Then calculate the speed of the light in ice. So how to calculate speed of light in ice? A refractive index, speed of light in air divided by speed of light in medium, which we don't know. Refractive index is 1.5, so V is equals to 3 exponent 8 divided by 1.5. So that will be 2 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Okay, sorry, it is 1.3. I thought it is 1.5. So then it will be 2.3 exponent 8. I thought it is 1.5. So I'll share another link and complete this discussion of block 3 test.